The autumn leaves crunched underfoot in the quiet suburban park, their colors muted by the overcast sky. A light drizzle hung in the air, turning the paths slick and the benches damp. Joggers passed in rhythmic strides, earbuds in, lost in their worlds. Near the edge of the lake, a young boy sat alone on a swing, barely moving. His small hands gripped the chains, head bowed, sneakers dragging in the dirt. The playground around him echoed with distant laughter from other kids. But he stayed apart, shoulders hunched against the chill. Then, a soft thud. Something small hit the ground near his feet, a worn soccer ball rolling to a stop. The boy looked up, startled. Across the playground, a man in a faded jacket paused mid-stride, as if deciding whether to retrieve it. He was in his late 40s with tired eyes and a day's stubble, carrying a paper bag from the corner grocery store. He'd been cutting through the park on his way home from another long shift at the warehouse. The boy's name was Lucas. 8 years old, with messy brown hair and a backpack slumped beside the swing. School had let out an hour ago, but he hadn't gone home. Report card day. Mostly CS and DS. A note from the teacher about not applying himself. His mom worked double shifts at the diner. His dad had left years back. Lucas felt the weight of it all. The disappointment he imagined waiting for him, the fear of letting her down again. He kicked at the ball absently, sending it rolling back toward the man. The man, his name was Victor, bent to pick it up. He wasn't a father, never had kids. Divorced young, he lived in a small apartment nearby, kept to himself. Work, home, repeat. But something in the boy's solitary figure tugged at him. Victor glanced around, no one claiming the ball, no other kids nearby. He nudged it gently with his foot, sending it back to Lucas. Lucas caught it with his sneaker, surprised. He looked up again. Victor gave a small nod, almost shy, and turned to leave. But Lucas stood, holding the ball. "Mister, is this yours?" Victor stopped. He could have said yes and walked away. Instead, he shook his head. "Nah. Looks like it found you." He hesitated, then walked over, setting his grocery bag on the bench. "Mind if I sit a minute? Feet are killing me." Lucas shrugged, clutching the ball. Victor sat, not too close. The drizzle picked up, pattering on the leaves overhead. Silence stretched, comfortable somehow. Victor pulled an apple from his bag, bit into it. Then, without a word, he took another and held it out. Lucas took it, murmuring thanks. They ate in quiet, watching ducks glide across the lake. "You play?" Victor asked, eventually nodding at the ball. Lucas shook his head. "Not really." "I'm not good at sports. Teacher says I don't try hard enough." Victor nodded slowly. "Teachers say a lot. Doesn't mean they're always right." He paused, staring at the water. "I wasn't good at much in school. Barely passed. Thought I'd amount to nothing." Lucas glanced at him. "What do you do now?" "What do you do now?" "Warehouse. Load trucks. Pays the bills." Victor shrugged. "But it's honest. One step at a time, kid." The boy fiddled with the apple core. "I got a bad report card today. Mom's gonna be mad." Victor didn't pry. Instead, he reached into his bag again, pulling out a small notebook he'd bought for grocery list. Blank pages mostly. He tore one out, folded it neatly into a paper airplane, launched it toward the lake. It glided far before splashing. Lucas's eyes widened. "How'd you do that?" "Practice? Here?" Victor handed him the notebook and a pen from his pocket. No explanation, just action. Lucas hesitated, then started folding under Victor's quiet guidance. His first attempts nosedived. Victor didn't laugh, just showed again patient turns of the paper. On the fourth try, Lucas's plane soared, looping in the breeze. He grinned, a real one, chasing after it as it landed. Victor watched, a faint warmth in his chest. He thought of his own childhood. Lonely afternoons, no one to show him simple things. When Lucas returned, breathless, Victor stood. "Keep the notebook. Make more. Better ones." Lucas looked at the gift, then at the ball still at his feet. "And this? Yours too. Practice kicking against that tree. You'll get better." It was instinctive. No grand speech, no promise to return. Victor just picked up his bag and started walking the path home. Lucas called a soft, "Thanks, mister," but Victor only raised a hand in wave, not turning back. The drizzle eased as Lucas gathered his things. He tucked the notebook in his backpack, balanced the ball under his arm. For the first time that day, the walk home didn't feel so heavy. Weeks passed, fall deepened, leaves piling high. Lucas practiced in the park most afternoons, kicking the ball, folding planes from the notebook pages. His aim improved, the planes flew farther. At school, he focused a bit more, drawn small victories. His mom noticed the change. The quieter worries, the spark in his eyes when he talked about this guy who gave me stuff. Victor kept his routine, passing the park sometimes. He'd see the boy from afar, practicing alone, and feel a quiet satisfaction. He never approached again, didn't want to intrude. The act had been small, almost unnoticed in the moment. One crisp evening, as snow flurried lightly, the first of the season, Victor trudged home, hands in pockets. At his apartment door, a small envelope waited, tucked under the mat. No name, just his unit number, inside. A carefully folded paper airplane, larger and sturdier than the others, made from colored construction paper. On one wing, in child's handwriting, "Thanks for the start. I made this one fly the farthest yet." Lucas, taped to it, was a single shiny sticker, a gold star, like from a teacher's reward chart. Victor unfolded the plane gently, setting it on his kitchen table. He stared at it for a long moment, the apartment silent around him. Outside, snow began to stick, blanketing the park paths. Life went on, shifts at the warehouse, school days for Lucas. But in quiet moments, Lucas would launch a new plane, remembering the stranger's steady hand. And Victor, glancing at the Gold Star airplane on his shelf, found himself walking a little lighter. A kind act so small, it almost went unnoticed, almost. Yet, in the space between two solitary lives, it planted something enduring, the gentle reminder that one quiet gesture can steady a child's unsteady world and, in turn, warm a man's quiet one. Sometimes, kindness is just a ball left behind, a page torn out, an apple shared without words, and that's enough to change everything. If this quiet story of humanity warmed your heart and reminded you how small moments matter, consider subscribing. We share more tales like this to celebrate the beauty in everyday kindness. True kindness often whispers. It's the small, unnoticed acts that touch us deepest. Have you experienced or given a subtle kindness that stayed with you? Share your story below. Let's inspire each other with our shared humanity. Be